we learn from the cantatas in this book that Bach had 3 duration ratios that he worked with, which I was mentioned before. They were either 1-to-1, so he would either want a prelude and fugue to be equal in durations, take the same amount of time to play, or he wanted either the prelude or fugue to be 2 times longer than the other to form a 1-to-2 ratio in either direction. Or the only other, couple other options occasionally, but by and large, about 95% of the time, the other option he used was 2-to-3. So let's say if one lasts 2 minutes, the other lasts 3 minutes. Or if one lasts, say, 1 minute and 20 seconds, the other lasts 2 minutes, because 120 and 2 are at a 2-to-3 ratio. So there were 1-to-1, 1-to-2, and 2-to-3. Notice that there's only 3 numbers, 1, 2, 3. Only 3 numbers. So Bach's main ratios that he used actually all throughout his church music, throughout his cantata music, was only those 3 ratios, with perhaps sometimes 1-to-3. He would use 1-to-3 sometimes, and not often, but it did happen. And occasionally 1-to-4, 1-to-4 maybe, but that's all. That's all. Really not much of that. So it was really 1-to-1, 1-to-2, and 2-to-3, using only 3 numbers. Now, why would he do that? Well, I make the bold claim that Bach did that for theological reasons, because 1, 2, and 3 symbolize the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit. And Bach was a very devout Lutheran, and this was the main theological reason why he did this. So we know from the study of the cantatas that Bach's standard operating procedure was to plan the relationship between the time durations of his prelude and fugue. And he would do that because he knew his tempo beforehand. So he knew what his tempo ordinario was. He didn't say, oh, okay, it's about 60. No, he knew it was 63. He knew it was 63. And he planned his music based on that. So the tempo ordinario is 63, and then you have about maybe 11 or so other tempos sprinkled throughout the whole system. And this whole system is what I call the ideal tempo matrix, which is a bunch of tempos that are all interrelated and everything like that. And so 63, the tempo ordinario, is kind of smack dab right in the middle of all of those other kind of tempos, the faster and slower tempos, and they all have interrelationships and everything.